Hey guys, what's happening? NGS back again for another video. And it is time for, it's been 2 weeks, so you guys know what that means. Ask Neo F.A.Q episode 10. So, like in the previous video, cut straight to it you guys, don't want to rattle on too long. So let's start out with the first question. The first question comes from Pirate Saiyan Ninja 1. And the question he asks is, Neo, do you like rap music? Well, as far as music in general goes, just for anyone who hasn't been to any of my live streams, because if you haven't been to any of my live streaming events, be it on Ustream or Blog TV, definitely check them out because I talk about a lot of shit that I never even explain on YouTube. As far as music is concerned, I am a very, very, very open person. You know, I'm not particularly picky on what I like to listen to because I like listening to every particular genre. If you would go onto my MP3 player, in this case it's my phone, like, you know, because it'd be kind of weird if you go onto my phone, you know, it just doesn't sound as cool as saying iPod. But if you would go onto my phone, you'd see the tracks listings that I have. It would be from modern pop, to bluegrass, to country, to classical, to, you know, rap, to, you know, it's very mixed in the stuff I like to listen to, you know, I have no particular taste. I don't listen to one. And as far as rap is concerned, yeah, I do like it. I mean, it's like I like each genre equally, but it's just the reason why I don't really like talking about rap nowadays is because modern rap is nothing more than talking about how you got all this money, how you've got the biggest dick in the world, how you've got all the bitches, hoes, I got this cars, I got these money. Modern rap is complete and utter bullshit. Rap should not be talking about, oh, I got all this money, I got all this bling, I got all this respect. No. Rapping should be about talking about shit that's real. You know, growing up. That's why I like Eminem, because he raps like that. All these other new people coming out, the fuck, Soulja Boy, you know, all these... I mean, you got some talent here and there. I mean, I'm not going to say there aren't good rappers, because there still are some, but it's just, you know, as a whole, it is not as good as how it existed in the 90s and before. Right now it's crap, and I say the same thing about modern pop. So, as a whole, I do like rap, but just the current form sucks. Question number 2 comes from the PS60, and his question is, with the PlayStation 4 being up in the air with rumors, what do you want the price point to be? What kind of features? And the number one thing, what kind of games do you want to launch? Well, you see, as far as my tastes are concerned about the PS4, games I really can't give any insight on because usually launch titles are games we've never even heard of. You know, they get a lot of new IPs from previous developers or they just come out with newer titles and such, so I can't really say anything on games. If I wanted one system to launch, it would have to be a new Jack or a traditional Crash Bandicoot or a traditional Spyro. I know we're never going to get that because, you know, Activision's literally butt fucking all of them. But I would love to see those games. And as far as pricing is concerned, I mean, Sony shot themselves in the foot with the PS3. I mean, they talked it up like, you know, it's the biggest, coolest fad in the world. It's gonna be so freaking epic, and then it flopped because of the price point and the games. It didn't get that good for the first 2 years. So, I mean, honestly, if I were to launch the system, I would say I'd have it in SKUs. You know, the average SKU I'd put it maybe like, you know, $350, $400, and then, like, you know, the more expensive SKU, maybe $500. In my personal opinion, I think it's more about what launches with the system and what features you have from the start that is going to help the system overall. If you have it like you did with the PS3 and the 3DS where it's slowly and it's chugging along, you're not really going to get people interested in the system, you know, whereas the Wii, you know, the first upfront, it's like, wow, that looks innovative. Motion controls on a console. You know, that was the selling point. And the PS3, it was just, They really didn't have a selling point till 2009 with the Slim and the whole "it only does everything" tagline. So, just generally, Sony should not focus all about tech this time around because there have been rumors saying that the PS4 isn't going to be the top tier console next generation. People are saying it might be the Xbox 720, which is fine because sometimes being the most powerful console means you're the most expensive. It means you're the one who, you know, it can be good or bad. In Sony's case, it went horribly wrong for the first 2 years. So an affordable console is one thing, as well as decent tech. You don't have to be, like, you know, the first and foremost, oh, we gotta get our graphics the same thing, when it's like, well, I could pay the same price and get an amazing gaming PC. You know, you don't want to leave people with that option. Question number 3 comes from Kisame Fish Fry, and he asks, What do you prefer, Dragon Ball or Dragon Ball Z? I'm just going to point it out there, I do prefer the original Dragon Ball, OG Dragon Ball, little Goku, little Krillin, you know, all them little guys, over Dragon Ball Z. One simple fact, I preferred it. It had more of a comedy overall, and it still had epic fights. The problem with Dragon Ball Z that I had was that it really kind of forgoed a lot of the comedy that you'd see in Dragon Ball. Like, you know, Dragon Ball was so, like, light yet serious, and it just overall had a perfect balance of, you know, mixing elements. Whereas Dragon Ball Z, it kind of got fucked up because the anime stretched things out with the filler, and, you know, they changed up the way characters acted in the anime. But Dragon Ball, I just like it better because I'd rather watch Dragon Ball, pop it in, and just have a great night, as opposed to Dragon Ball Z and having to sit through all these fillers. Yeah, I got Kai. Kai's freaking beast. I prefer that over Z. But overall, I just have specialties in Dragon Ball. It really felt like magic to me, you know. And that ending theme, you know, the first one, the English dub, good times. Good times. Number 4 comes from another moment where I really cannot pronounce your guys' names. It comes from Hickmore, C-I-C-K, Sycamore 12, and he asks, have you watched Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood episode 53? No. Why? Because Brotherhood Part 5 Blu-ray is on the way from Amazon.com. So finally I'm gonna finish watching Brotherhood. You know, I've avoided as many spoilers as I've, you know, possibly heard of, you know, through Ustream, Blog TV, and people posting videos, reviews on the series. You know, I just don't want to be spoiled because I freaking love this series. I love it so much that I just cannot stand the idea of seeing what happens. All I do know is there are some pretty badass fight scenes in the final part, and that there's a movie in the works, like, you know, to finish up the series. That's all I know, so I'm going to keep it away. But Part 5 should be coming in a couple days on Blu-ray, so when it comes, you guys are going to see a video of me just updating you, and then once I see the ending, Blog TV, hey, we'll discuss it. Question number 5 comes from Michael RD777, and he asks, what are your thoughts on the death of the Guitar Hero franchise? Activision killing off Guitar Hero. Yeah, so Activision killed off Guitar Hero, quite frankly, a couple of months ago, and you know you know, I didn't care, honestly, because Guitar Hero was one of those franchises that really started out special. It had all the potential in the world. You know, it was a unique, innovative idea. People thought that music-based video games would be a flop, you know, but they succeeded, you know, and it became a tremendous success. And then they moved on with the sequel. It did even better than the third game. It did even better. And then the fourth game, and the fifth game, and the second spin-off, and the third spin-off, and the fourth spin-off, and the fifth spin-off, and the sixth spin-off, and then you had rehashes, compilations, Game of the Years. There's no reason for more than 3-4 Guitar Hero games a generation. There's just no reason. Because the majority of all that stuff is DLC on a disc. 99.99999% of that could have been implicated through downloadable content, because DLC for Guitar Hero obviously sells well. If they were just to put out even one Guitar Hero game every year, and maybe the spin-off every other year or so, like Aerosmith or whatever, I think generally people would be satisfied with it, because, you know, we can get the themed versions that come out. But no, they insisted that, oh my god, if we don't put out a Guitar Hero game every 6 minutes, people aren't going to buy it. So that's why they forced them to put out 16 different versions in less than 1 year. And, oh, boy, that was a great idea. And that's why the series, ever since they started doing all this crap, went down the toilet. And frankly, I'm sad that the series is gone, well, quote-unquote, on hiatus. But then again, we didn't need 16 Guitar Hero games in 1 year, Activision. If you did one a year, perfectly acceptable. Supported through DLC, that's great. Each and every game you add in new modes, you know, new options for playing, because they do some stuff like that, you know. But it's just, there was no reason for more. There really wasn't. There really wasn't. And Rock Band, I could say the same thing. While I do hold it in higher regards than Guitar Hero, it doesn't milk as much, there's still the segue that they can do now that they're the top music-based rhythm on the crowd. So, oh, please don't make that a, oh god, EA, please no. Question number 6 comes from DJ Aswome E. Can't pronounce you guys' names. Seriously, at least if you're gonna send a message and you think your name is kind of hard to pronounce, then put a translation guide for me so I can pronunciate it. But he asked this question: why does everybody have a big issue with Dragon Ball Kai's soundtrack? And to that question, I do not freaking know why. I mean, the complaints that people are saying, oh my god, it's all trumpets, oh my god this, oh my god that, it. Most of these I hear from the English dub people. A lot of people who automatically say that the Japanese version of Dragon Ball Z's music didn't fit the mood, it didn't pump up, you know, there was something epic about it, and 90% of the time they haven't even watched the freaking Japanese version more than 6 seconds to hear Goku's voice. Ew, it's annoying, let me post it on the internet. Ugh, to actually give it a chance, you know. As a whole, I prefer Kai's over the original 2 scores. I do like Bruce Falconer, and I always will have a spot in my heart for Kikuchi. Stumbling right there. But I just prefer Kai's because it just got me in the mood more. It just felt more epic to me than it did in Falconer. Because Falconer, they played the living hell out of that music. There was not one scene where there wasn't some type of music going on and so much synchronization. It just, in some cases, it didn't even fit. It was just overbearing. It's just kind of killing the mood. It played it too freaking much, you know? So, I don't know the answer to that question, DJ. Just people out there that like to complain about shit due to nostalgia. That's the number one complaint that a lot of people have with Kai, and that is why they bash on it, because of nostalgia. This is not the Dragon Ball Z I grew up with. The Dragon Ball Z you grew up with is not Dragon Ball, to begin with. It is not. Kai is more Dragon Ball than Dragon Ball Z is. I'm sorry, but you read the manga, you watch Kai, you're reading the manga, and that's just the blatant truth. If you're gonna complain about Kai, complain about, you know, the legitimate things. Don't complain about, you know, the bullshit stuff because of your memories. And the final question that we're gonna answer this video comes from the Mick2639, and he asks, I know you're into PC gaming, Neo. Well, everybody knows that by now. I mean, haven't I hoarded enough as is? Venom, Chris, haven't I hoarded enough? Have you ever played any of the Civilization series, mainly Civilization 5? And to that, I can answer no. Now, I'm not saying I would never want to try the Civilization franchise, it's just that PC gaming, there's just too many games out there for one person to play. I mean, like, Steam is not helping either because of all those sales they got on there. Like, I got back records of games that I'm getting, like all the Grand Theft Autos, all Rockstar's games for $6, you know, both Mass Effect games for $10 total. It's just Steam. I can't play games anymore because they make it so they want me to buy shit. I can't play games because I gotta finish those, and I never get anything done. So I would be interested in trying out the Civilization series, but I have heard some pretty negative things on Civilization 5. I heard that they pulled a Marvel vs. Capcom 3 and released the game unfinished with things that should have been in the game. That's what I've heard from my friend James. But overall, as a whole, I'll try to get into it. I've heard a lot about Sid Meier's, a Civilization game. I believe it was on the Xbox 360 and PS3. Sid Meier's Civilization, or I don't know what it was, but I've heard a lot about that franchise. So this is the end of Ask Neo episode 10. I just want to thank everybody for all the questions they sent in. There was just too many questions out there to answer, so post your question. If you already posted a question, I'm probably going to get to it on the next video because I'm just backtracking from the day I posted the video. These are questions from the day. So if you already posted a question, don't repost it with the same question. I'm going to get to that question eventually if I am able to answer without taking like a whole video. And if you have always been interested in asking a question, then YouTube PM me. So, and thank you for watching this video. I'm GS signing out, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.